Problem 8-39 from homework H8-1 D2. The directions state, what is the degree of each polynomial function below? As we look at these, starting out with letter A, we have p of x equals 0.08 x squared plus 28x. So let's remember that this one is in standard form. And when our function is in standard form, we're going to look at that most dominant term here, that 0.08 x squared. Okay, so whatever term has the variable with the highest exponent is typically our highest degree. So we're going to say, what is the degree? The degree on letter A would be 2. Looking at B, we have 8x squared minus 1/7 x to the 5th plus 9. Remember, our coefficient on a polynomial term can be anything, can be any number. We just need to make sure that we're multiplying times x to a whole number power. So in this case, it looks like everything holds true for our definition. So we're just going to look for the greatest exponent. And we'd say here the degree of this one is going to match that exponent. So in this case, our degree would be 5. Letter C, f of x equals 5 times the quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 2 times the quantity of x plus 7. Occasionally you run into a problem where there is no one dominant term, so you have to count up your degrees. So for C, right, we've got this factor, this factor, this factor. Now 5 is just a stretch factor. It's not going to have any influence on our x values. So when we're thinking about what is the overall degree, if I multiply this times this times this, I'd have an x to the 3rd power, which means that our degree here is going to be 3. And then letter D, it says y equals, we have x minus 3 quantity squared times an x plus 1 times an x cubed plus 1. So this one is in factored form. So this one's different. So make sure you're paying attention to that, right? This one is factored form. So when I look at it here, right, I've got an x minus 3 times an x minus 3 times an x plus 1 times an x to the 3rd plus 1. When we multiply this times this, we know we're going to get an x squared. And then if we multiply it by this, we know we're going to get an x to the 3rd. And when I multiply an x to the 3rd times an x to the 3rd plus 1, we have to add our exponents. So we're going to get x to the 6th plus x to the 3rd, which means our highest exponent is 6. So the degree on this one has to be 6. Okay, so those are our answers: 2, 5, 3, and 6. If you have additional questions on that one, mark it down, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can.